love you.
Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos.
Los chicharrones.
Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina es la CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Les saco el dedo y digo Q. Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Bayo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
Hialeah. It's not one time that song doesn't get me. Always gets you in the feels.
Yes, it does. Hello, everybody, and welcome to East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. I'm your one of your hosts, Bobby Finstock, joined by Alex Atiachisca each and every week. Alex, my man, not only was it a victory Monday for the Miami Dolphins after a 50-point deficit, 70-20 historic win over the Denver Broncos, but also a victory Monday for us because the Finstock Sports Network has broken 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank everybody, to the content creators on the network, to the viewers, everyone who supports the channel. Thank you so much. And if you're new to the channel, you're just tuning in, and hit that like and subscribe button. We got great content here, especially great Miami Dolphins content, and that's where we are going to start off. Let me preference that by saying, though, with the East 10th Street Boys, because a lot of people come over, they're like, damn, you're not talking about the Dolphins anymore. East 10th Street Boys, we talk about everything. Today will be mainly Dolphins, but we talk about Dolphins. We talk Heat. We talk Panthers, Marlins, life, cereal, and you'll see we'll get the cereal awards out today.
A lot of cereal.
Yes, a lot of cereal. But man, I wanted to touch on, I know it's only week 3. I know, last year we started 3-0. I touched on this yesterday. I know we started last year 3-0. We started a few years ago 3-0. This is a different 3-0 football team.
Huge difference.
Last year, Dolphins were 8-3. They were saying 2 MVP with some big games. But 3 weeks in, I think it's a clear-cut MVP situation right now. It's just started, but it's clear-cut at this point. So, but I'm looking at this team. I'm going, Coach of the Year, MVP, Offensive Rookie of the Year,
Executive of the Year.
Executive of the Year. Okay, man. Well.
There's that award in football, right?
Would it count? Huh? I think there's a general. Isn't there an executive for the year?
Yeah, I think so.
There's an
basketball have it.
But not just that. Offensive Player of the Year, can they go to like Tyreek, who made up for having not a poor game, but a slow game last week? I mean, there's a lot of Assistant Coach of the Year. Butch Berry, look at that offensive line. I mean, you could go on and on. That's what I want to talk about today. Before that, Evan Foster's in the house. He's fine. I'm sure. He's allowed to eat now. I want to know what he ate. I know he was waiting all day. Yes. I called him while we were talking today while I was eating a giant burger from McDonald's. No, I'm just kidding. And but Alex, my man, 70-20, huge win. And yesterday's game really followed with the theme of the Miami Dolphins. In the air, on the ground. We were always in control.
Yep.
So, and this is a recipe to go to the Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. But let me know, man. First off, I know sometimes you find it's hard for you to watch the entire game, but you were texting me during the game, so I know you were watching it. What were your thoughts on that game, and how are you feeling right now?
I was able to watch the game as well. I got it. I started it when we were up. I think it was 14-0. I believe so. We got home because we had a basketball tournament. So I got home, and the feeling once you started seeing before the half, and I'm like, whoa, like they're really scoring relatively easy. Like the game is very smooth. Like they don't seem to be struggling at all. Because obviously we came from the Patriots game, which it became kind of like a defensive matchup at the end. To me, it was a recipe of how you can slow down this Dolphins offense. But at this point with a running game with a chain stepping up yesterday, and there's really nothing you can do to stop this offense. This offense really will stop itself at any point. So that is the thing to me that is most impressive because, and that's what I'm saying. And Evan was talking about the receipts. I'm like, this whole summer, I just kept thinking about speed, speed, speed. And the number one thing that me and you talked about, and I know we touched upon it many times, and I said one of the most important things about this team is the experience McDaniel gained last year. And even Tua tested it to yesterday. How quickly the play calls are coming in. Like McDaniel has a plan and he's gonna stick to it. And what I love about McDaniel, he's one of those coaches that has a feel for the game and he takes the game as it goes. He feels it, and sometimes Hill might be off. And okay, one of these things that is magnified that no one really has talked about. Jalen Waddle didn't play yesterday, so we did all this, and Jalen Waddle wasn't even a part of it because sometimes people are like, "Oh, Jalen Waddle's going to miss it. They're going to take that part of the field. They're going to double Tyreek." Everything was clicking, and hands off to the O line. The improvement that we have seen on this offensive line has been the most critique offensive line probably in NFL history. And it goes to show you, and you know, Bob, you know what I countered this with? When I was watching the Cowboys game. When the Cowboys get in the red zone, they don't know what to do. That offense becomes stale completely, and their defense took a massive hit with Diggs. And when you were talking about the top tier, we might be hitting on all cylinders just at the right time. There's no clear-cut juggernaut in the NFL right now. It's us, the Chiefs. Obviously, you're still going to count the Chiefs because the Chiefs are going to develop. They have very young wide receivers. You still got Kelsey. You have one of the youngest defenses in the NFL, if not the youngest defense. So, and you got Mahomes. So obviously, it's going to be Chiefs and Dolphins probably for the next 3 or 4 years. But right in this moment, there is no clear cut juggernaut in the NFL. So the NFL is up for grabs, and we're just clicking on all cylinders. You pray for health, but this is your whole summer, and that's why I texted you yesterday. To me, I'm so happy. Not trying to be a homer or anything, but you're happy for Dolphins fans, like actual Dolphins fans that saw it through, and for believing in McDaniels. You know how many NFL teams right now are saying like, I can't believe we didn't interview this guy, even for an OC job. Like those are the things that are magnified.
Not one team interviewed McDaniel for the head coaching job. Only the Dolphins.
People are afraid of change sometimes, and now it's funny because it takes something like this. Mike McDaniel could change the NFL. And what I love about it, he's being true to himself. He's built this team offensively the way he wanted to build it, based on speed. And notice what speed does. Coaching has helped out the O line, but speed also helps out the O line. When you have running backs with vision, wide receivers with speed, quick releases, that helps you out. That gives you confidence. So those are to me the things that it cannot go discounted this offseason.
Let me say hello to the
Yeah.
homie who just tuned in, and of course,
Oh,
Rob
man.
of DolphinsThirsty.com and Dolphins Thirsty YouTube, and Manny, Bearded Fanatic, Battered Fin fans. Guys, I thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to tell you guys now for Manny and Rob, who haven't heard yet, maybe, that I am, because of some convincing by Evan Posner and Fitz Danza, and Miss Finn's last night on post game, I will be at the Miami Dolphins Carolina game. I'm so damn excited. I'll be traveling down there in a couple of weeks and looking forward to seeing you guys and hanging with you and celebrating our Miami Dolphins going 6-0 at that point. Going 6-0. Listen, after what I saw yesterday, I had it 3-0, but I had it 3-1 going into the Giants. And after what I saw yesterday, even though the Bills still damn good football team, I'm not saying anything on the Bills. Miami is going to take that. I have full confidence Miami's going to win that football game in Buffalo. I have it. Harrison's in the house. Alex looking like a snack. Is that what you're trying to say?
What is that? A lollipop? What is that?
I think he's saying you look like a snack.
Like a snack?
Harrison's getting a little sus.
Candy bar? Yeah. If they lose, you know why. Dude, okay. Bob, what would you do? You come down, you're going to the game, everybody's excited, you lose the game. What do you do? Oh,
Well,
shit.
what about Evan? Evan's the one who's going
Oh,
too.
that's
I mean,
true.
I'll
That's
be
true.
probably looking at Evan going, "It's on you, dude." You know, every game I've gone except for the one in the Dolphin Stadium, I've never gone to a losing game. The only game I've ever gone to a loss was here at Tennessee against the Titans a couple seasons back. That horrible game, you know, it was just bad. Manny's just saying that too. Alex looks kind of snacky. All right. Oh, hey, fan yourself off,
I
Alex.
get you. Okay, now I see like a snack. I got it. Okay.
Damn, Alex, you're like,
So I don't know what I just did. Bro.
I'm the half
Just a
Puerto
hack?
Rican. You're
Probably
cute.
a hack.
What's you know? Damn,
Probably
you
a
didn't get it.
Must be the
Anyway.
cologne.
Hey, but no, Alex, look,
Yeah.
Looking at this team, what they were able to do, and you were saying Jalen Waddle wasn't there yesterday.
No.
That's a big thing, right? You go, man, you know, Jalen Waddle wasn't there. You know, we're gonna have to rely on Tyreek. What is Braxton Burrows? What? But Miami didn't only rely, and they didn't. But they did it through both ways. It was a 50-50 split. It was a balanced attack.
A literal
And
balance.
I told Evan, I texted Evan and I said, you know, and I'm hoping he sticks with that on bandwagon, but I said, first off, it's Devon Achane, not Achane.
He changed it up. Yeah.
Yeah, he said
like
what it was. Achane. Achane. It's Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert equals Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in the receiving game. Those guys as running backs equal those guys in the receiving. You have two equal talents to that receiving room from yesterday. Who could stop this Dolphins football team? The only look, yeah, you can look at Buffalo, and all respect to them. You're looking at the schedule: Buffalo, San Francisco, the Eagles, Kansas City. Yeah, they might give you some cause to pause and go, okay, you got to respect their teams. They're strong, blah blah blah. That might get those teams, but the Giants, the Panthers, the Jets, the Patriots.
You should win those games by double digits for sure.
Should not even be in question.
Yeah.
And I said this yesterday, and I'll keep hammering because I saw people go, even non-Dolphin fans, but even Dolphin fans, oh, it was against the Broncos. They saw this was an NFL defense.
Exactly.
No team in history since 1966 or whatever has ever done this. The Patriots with Randy Moss did not do this. Mm-hmm. The Kansas City Chiefs with Tyreek Hill and Pat Mahomes did not do this.
They have one of the best cornerbacks in Patrick Surtain Jr.
St. Louis, Robbie chose and embarrassed him, and all loved him. The St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf, never scored 70 points.
No.
Your Miami Dolphins did this. Your Miami Dolphins.
Right
and
here.
they were ranked 7th in total defense.
And I know the season is young. Listen, it's only 2 games, but
three
still.
seasons in, 3 weeks in. Just like, the Patriots. Look, see, Miami, the AFC East is different, right? You play. Mm-hmm. That's why next week I expect a fight. I expect Buffalo is coming into next week going, hey, look, they're going to be doing the whole Oregon-Colorado speech. They're looking for clicks. We're looking for wins, blah, 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 blah. They saw what Miami just did to Denver. Trust me. We're not worried about Buffalo. We're respecting them, but they're worried about us. They don't want to get embarrassed like that. So they're gonna, Miami's gonna come out firing because they know Buffalo's gonna come at Miami, and Buffalo's gonna come at Miami. That's why the 8th best defense, you go, man, how did the Patriots hold Miami to 24 points? Miami knew what the Patriots were gonna do. They didn't just decide. Miami didn't just decide, or Miami wasn't stopped from passing the ball. Mm-hmm. They knew we're going to run this ball. They expect us to pass. And what did they do? It was a balanced attack, but they beat New England with the run game. Yesterday, they beat the Broncos, an NFL defense, 7th best defense in the NFL, not just through the air, but on the ground. And time was a better time to sing the Dolphins theme song, fight song, than yesterday. Mm-hmm. In the air and on the ground and always in control.
One thing that's going to get overlooked, Bob, is how much the defense improved as well. I understand it's the Broncos.
Absolutely. No.
It's coming up.
Against the Broncos defense, that's different. We could say, well, the Broncos defense, they're the 7th best defense. They didn't have Justin Simmons. Pat Surtain got blown, blah, 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 blah. They're a sucky team. But the Broncos offense ran by Sean Payton, a Super Bowl coach, Russell Wilson, a Super Bowl, arguably a Hall of Fame quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to remember the receiver. Talented players, Javonte Williams, etc.
Sutton, Judy.
Miami's defense, Agba, he had a sack, he had an interception. Where has Agba been? He's back. Okay, Andrew Van Ginkel, again, probably the best player, most impactful player on this defense this season. Bradley Chubb making an impact. All right. Katie Cole continuing to make an impact. Javon Holland still.
Brandon Jones is coming back into it.
Cat, what's going on, brother?
Ramsey. Cam Smith is probably going to start playing soon. So it's a whole scenario here where last year, you see, Bob, that's the one thing that was different about last year. 3-0, you're like, this defense is shaky. We might lose a few games here and there with this defense. But now you have the comfort where even if your offense is not clicking like it was in New England because it was being slowed down per se, and honestly, you see, this is the part that I know it's last week, a few months from now, people are going to forget. That New England game, that score didn't show the trueness of that game. That game should have been a double-digit victory as well. So those are the things that you start looking, I'm like, and you start analyzing. And I'm not trying to be, because I'm not going into this perfect season bullshit right now. I'm not going to do that. But I'm like, legitimately, there is no team in the NFL that scares me. Like, there is no defense that can actually slow us down. Like, there's one thing that you can cover. That's one thing that you can't teach, is speed. So you can try to take out the verticality. Sorry. You can try to take out the field.
You'll get there.
I got you, man. But then what do? They're going to start eating you up short yardage. They're just going to run the clock, milk the clock, and they're still going to score. So these are the things that you can't. This football team, and like I told you, this could change the way the NFL coaches and sees these coaches, because the NFL for some reason has always been one of those leagues that you have a few head coaches and a few coordinators that are out of this world, like Andy Reid. Andy Reid has always been like this offensive genius for over 20 plus years now. Then you have few in between where they start playing like you have to play that old boring football. We're like, oh, we're going to run the ball 40 times and we're going to beat you on the ground and pound. Like, I get that. But I'm glad that there's a head coach that is, 5'9", 5'8", maybe 120, 30 pounds, 140 pounds. And he is probably the hottest coach right now in the NFL. And is this tiny guy that doesn't look like a coach, because I love when people say like, oh, you don't look like a coach. Well, that guy's the mastermind of the best offense in the NFL. So those are the things that I'm glad that is happening, because to me, is a testament from a coach's perspective. A lot of coaches try to imitate other coaches. And what I've always thought to myself, for me, for example, I'm always going to be who I am. I'm always going to have my vision, my philosophy. Of course, you're going to learn from others and you have influences. That's what makes you who you are. But at the end of the day, you always have that little voice inside you that's the reason you want to coach. And I love that McDaniel is finally able to showcase his vision, which goes to show you all you need is one shot, one opportunity, and now he's making the most out of it. And the difference in Tua alone, the difference in his in team aura, the comfort level that this team have, the joy that they play football with. 3 years ago, people were questioning if Tua can actually play in the NFL. Legitimately, is Tua an NFL quarterback? We were having that question. Like, I don't think there's any doubt anymore that a quarterback coach relationship or quarterback coordinator relationship is very important. Very important. You got to trust your vision. And one of the biggest points that, to me, the biggest thing, Bob, of this football team is that they have built a system around their players and their strengths. Like, they're not trying to make their players something that they're not. And that is when your player performs at its best, when you build something that they're comfortable in. Obviously, you're going to push their limits. You're going to improve their weaknesses. But two things, testament to the believe in yourself and the players believing in you and working their ass off to perform at this level. And you can see the success and you can see the results, and it's going to keep on going, man.
So let me go ahead and welcome. Well, let's see here. Sorry about that. Messed that up. All right. So I just want to say this. First off, Chef Chu, Ray Finkel, Cat for Life in the house. Guys, thank you. Hooked Up Joe. Thank you all for tuning in. Ralphie Boy. And thank you, Chef Chu. Appreciate it, brother. On 1,000 subs. We're very excited, man, about the growth of the network, but also the success of this football team. And this is, again, a legit 3-0 team. And it's and look, in regards to Tua, and we're going to get into that, but in regards to Tua, what you were saying about what was the talk even a year ago, 2 years ago, compared to right now, any questions you had, like after week 1, any questions, like Wingate said, any questions you had about the Dolphins after week 1 were answered in week 2. Anything you had in week 2 about the Dolphins,
We're answering week 3.
I was done in week 3. With Tua, last season showed when healthy, he could be a successful quarterback in this NFL with Tyreek and Jalen. This year, he's not just doing it with Tyreek and Jalen. You know, he's doing it with Braxton Barrios. He's doing it with the running game. Now you got a legit running game that all of a sudden we were saying after last year, yo, you got to run, you got to have a balanced attack. And of course, Mike McDaniel and those guys are smarter than us. They've done this for a living, whatever. We're just guys sitting on the outside in.
Yeah.
But even the fans were smart enough to go, hey, dude, we need to have a balanced attack. And what did they did? They ran off a balanced attack. And it's just any questions Tua had, any playing questions he had in regards of play, those are answered. You don't have to talk about those no more. You know, he's going to have his hiccups. Every quarterback does. There are, the questions that remain are going to be there until they're answered. We got to answer that at the end of the year. Okay.
Yeah.
How long did he last throughout the season? God willing, he's looking pretty damn good so far. 3 games in. Yeah. How does he play it's September, but how are you going to play in December? Those are questions, but those are the only questions. That's it. Now he's playing at an MVP level, and he should be playing an MVP. I mean, he should be considered. It's very early, but who else should be in an MVP conversation right now? I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be a homer. You know me. I'm a diehard Dolphin. You know my whole life.
Absolutely.
No one's a bigger Dolphin fan than me. You and I know this. But I try to be balanced. But I can't see no one because it is a quarterback that, like, you could say Tyreek Hill, right? You could say Tyreek, most important player. I mean, what has he done since he's come onto this team? Thank you, Cap. I appreciate you, brother. He has hit Mike McDaniel, and I said it last year. Before Mike McDaniel, I wanted Doug Peterson. It wasn't Doug Peterson. It was I wanted a veteran coach. It was Doug Peterson and Dan Quinn from the Dallas Cowboys, who's the defensive coordinator.
That's true.
Those were the 2 veteran coaches.
Yeah.
Everyone was on the, I remember you were like the picture. And I was like, dude, you just won because he looks, he has long hair like you.
No, I told you I love.
Hold on. But after we made the move, when you see that phone call with 2 on the airplane, and you see the way he, not only the players, but the building, the organization, the fan base, the media. Evan could attest to this because Evan's in most of the Dolphin shows that I talk about. The most important acquisition last year, I said this last year, and it goes into this year even more, was not Tyreek Hill. It was Coach Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel was the most important acquisition to this football team to where it is right now. Because I believe that, and knock on wood, that if Tyreek goes down, last year when Tua went down, the team kind of stuttered. I'm not worried about this year.
No, at all.
With this football team. I'm not saying that, I'm cool with Mike White. What I'm saying is, I really believe this team is prepared now that if Tyreek goes down for any amount of time, which we hope he doesn't, or Tua, that this team's going to have it. This team is ready to go. You can't have a quarterback to pass. We got Achane and Ricky Mostert right here.
And Bob, tell me the Jets wouldn't wish they had Mike White right now over Zach
I know
Wilson.
Evan's been saying that too. Evan was saying it all day.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Dude, don't get me wrong. If I know they started talking shit about McDaniel possibly running up the score, dude, he ran the ball every time. The one he did have Mike White throwing the touchdown of Robbie Chosen. Like that to me was awesome. Mike White looks comfortable in this offense, and that's one thing that, and obviously Skylar Thompson is growing as well. So even if Mike White goes down, I keep calling him Mike White. I'm gonna call him Mike White. Fuck it. Sorry, Mark White. Mike White is like, he looks comfortable out there. So even if Tua does go down, like, you feel that with the weapons around him, he can play winning football. Now we had this with Teddy Bridgewater. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's obviously. It also happened to be Mike McDaniel's first year in a new system for the players as well. So maybe that could play a toll. But you just hit the nail on the head. You feel comfortable this year. You don't feel there's a situation. Now, granted, what I still feel, and obviously he didn't come into play, Jason Sanders. I know they talk and they talk him up that they're comfortable with him and they're confident with him that he's really accurate in practices and this and that. But I still think Jason Sanders could cost you a game this year if it ever comes close to it. So that's my only concern with this team: health and Jason Sanders. That's it.
Okay. First of all, Jason Sanders broke a record yesterday.
What,
for
he kicked
10 pats.
10 pats? Okay, great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, no, wait a second. Because before that, everybody was going on, oh, he missed a pat. He made everything else. He made 9 points, but he missed a pat, so we're gonna crap on the kid. But he makes 10 yesterday. We're still going, but Jason Sanders, stop, dude. Stop with Jason. Leave the kid alone. That's ridiculous. You guys are crazy, man.
That's a grown-ass man, bro. He ain't no kid. He's getting paid $4 million to kick a football.
Yeah, and you guys are giving a little, you give him, you hold him more accountable than you do some of the players on the team. Stop it.
I hold everybody accountable, but I mean,
no, you don't. No, you don't.
Who don't I hold accountable?
Stop
who
it.
don't I hold accountable?
Stop it.
Who don't I hold accountable?
Stop it. Not even with the Heat. Not even with the Heat.
Who don't I hold accountable? Oh, here we go to the Heat. Justin Winslow, Hassan Whiteside.
I'm glad you recognize. I'm glad you recognize.
Only move.
Only move.
Water under the bridge, bro. Water under the bridge.
It's all water under the bridge.
Let it go, bro. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh man. All right. So
you know what's crazy? Justin Winslow might come back, but
dude,
Justin Winslow might sign for minimum free agents.
I'm gonna let you talk on it later, but I said, I just want to say this very quick about the Dame Lillard stuff, and we're gonna hold off that later. But I said it on Twitter today, and I mean it. I am past it. I don't have no interest in it. I'm moving on from it until something goes down. I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to make a click. Not going to worry about it because of the fact of the matter is, look, I ain't playing that game. I ain't going to worry myself. I think the Heat have a better roster than they had last year going into the finals. If they get Dame Lillard, even better. But I ain't worried about it no more. But we'll touch on it.
It's funny, Bob.
Carry on.
No. We don't have to touch about it later. Just real quick, what you just said. It's kind of like, remember the conversation we were having about Jonathan Taylor? Obviously, it's a different dimension. But Jonathan Taylor, he's really not a necessity.
It's a luxury. It's a luxury.
It's a luxury. Don't get me wrong. Dame Lillard is fills a position of need more than a luxury. But all this is just leverage, man. And like I know, Evan, there's rumors, that the Raptors are high up in the list. But once again, this all comes down to is Dame gonna state and double down where I'm only gonna play for the Heat? If he doesn't remove that stance, this is all leverage move. That's it. There's nothing to it. Now, if he's like, I'll entertain the Raptors, then we might talk, But for now, we'll leave it there.
So 23423 in the house. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you watching. Don't bring that Taylor Swift BS in here. Ray Finkel. Oh, dude, that just that instigated me so bad yesterday when I saw right after the Dolphins scored 70 points, Adam Schefter's tweeting about Taylor Swift.
Oh, come on, man. You knew it was going to happen. All the Swifties, bro.
Dude.
Now,
let me look at the MVP.
Make a fun couple. Jamila keeps telling me that it's all like publicity. Like they're just in it like a publicity stunt. Well, she showed me a stat. Kelsey's jerseys, his jersey sales went up 400% last night after they showed him after they showed Taylor Swift in the box and him walking out with Taylor Swift.
Oh God.
So, hey, man.
So MVP again. I know more than likely it is a quarterback's. I mean, they should just call it best MVP quarterback or whatever the heck you want to call it. But looking at it, I mean, Kirk Cousins is the number one passer in terms of stats. He has 1,075 yards, but you want to know what his record is?
0-3.
He has 1,075, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions with 108.2 quarterback rating, but an 0-3 record. Tua, who again, it wasn't not a perfect game, but it was a perfect game. It wasn't the perfect game, but he played a perfect game.
Yeah.
Yesterday, 1,000. I mean, just for the season right now, 1,024 yards, 71.3 completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 2 picks, 121.9. And he's been only sacked once. So, and it's kudos to him, kudos to that offensive line. Wingate's in the house. Good to see you, brother. Okay. At the Beard Sports Bar, we talk about Taylor Swift for half the show. Oh man.
Hey, she gets the clicks, bro. She gets the clicks.
It's all good. It's all good.
Oh, no joke. That Vikings defense is horrible, man. His defense is horrible.
It's a bitter pill, brother. It's a bitter pill. Let me look at
You see,
rushing
coaches like
because
that, Bob. Situations like that is when coaches never get another head coaching job. Because if Tua would have sucked, and the Dolphins will be rebuilding again, there is a validation to what Brian Flores was saying about Tua and doing. But his biggest knock is he couldn't. Didn't he offer? Is it true that Brian Flores even thought about hiring Mike McDaniel as an offensive coordinator? Was that true? That they looked into offering Mike McDaniel the
he wanted
offensive
to
coordinator
interview
job?
him. He wanted yes, yeah. Evan could clarify, but from my understanding was that he wanted to interview him, but he was declined. The 49ers declined it. He
Wow.
wanted to interview him for the OC position. Can you
Yeah.
imagine? Can you imagine?
Oh,
But hey,
man, I'm glad it. I'm glad it happened this way.
well, my thing is you say this more. When what do you call a blessing in disguise? That's
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
It's a blessing in disguise.
Sometimes the best move is the one that doesn't happen.
Exactly. Let me just throw this out here. So I'm looking at the rushing for 3 weeks in. We're at 3 weeks. Of course, the leading rusher in the NFL is Christian McCaffrey.
Bob, this is true. Bob, this is true, man. We missed a shot. We could have just put Taylor Swift picture. We just hit 1,000 subscribers. We would have been 1,000,000 subscribers by the end of the show. Damn it! Let's restart this show, bro. Let's restart the show. Let's do this again.
Hey, Bobby, I told you that Denver wasn't that good. I assume that's what you're saying. You didn't believe me. Who would have thought that Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, Super Bowl Hall of Fame coach and quarterback, and an NFL football team would allow a 70-point win, Anthony? I did not believe anybody, but I did have it a closer game.
Yeah, no one had it. No one had it 70-20, bro. Like, I want to see what was the highest prediction. That was funny. If we look up, like, what was the highest?
I think somebody had. I think Evan was 38-17. I could be wrong. Maybe it was, but still, I mean, 40. I think saw somebody in our comments had 41. The Legion of Zoom is here.
Hey,
the greatest show on surf.
The greatest show on surf. That's awesome. You know what was funny though, Bob? The Chiefs could have gone for 70 against the Bears. If they wouldn't have Sam Mahomes, they would have got hurt. The Chiefs could have gone 72 on the Bears, bro. That team. The Bears look atrocious, man, in every aspect.
Well, the Chiefs are starting to look like themselves again.
Yes.
And that could be AFC Championship right there. Dolphins versus
AFC
Chiefs.
Championship. Yep.
That game in Germany is going to be a blast, dude. I'm excited for next week. I really am. Florio had it 38-21.
Wow.
But you had 17. You had 38-17, Evan, right? Pretty sure. But I'm going to tell you, like, next week, I have the schedule. I want to talk about the running backs for a second, but where the hell is it? Every game I'm excited for, but Buffalo, Philadelphia, New England. I mean, not New England, Kansas City, Dallas, Baltimore. I am so excited to see those football games. I am so excited to see Miami match up to those teams. And if Miami beats Buffalo, whoever has any doubts on the Dolphins after this week, if the Dolphins beat Buffalo, the doubts are over. There's no more.
At this point, you're just hating. When the national media started recognizing them, when Greeny started recognizing them, I'm like, that's it. We're over the hump. Like, that's the only thing. For example, that's the only thing that's lacking always for the Heat. The national media will always discount the Heat no matter what they do. But I'm like, holy shit, they've turned the page on the Dolphins. They're actually predicting the Dolphins are going to win. I'm like, okay, that's it. We're that good. I mean, it took 70 points to beat first top header, headlighting the NFL today and all that shit. So.
Oh, wait. Anthony, first off, always thank you, Anthony, for tuning in and commenting, man. I always appreciate you. You know that. So you were talking about your comment. Previous comment was talking about Achane. Were you talking about how he was I remember somebody saying that was he going to have more carries than Mozart, and I said I doubt he'll eat in Mozart's carries, but and he did have more carries, so true to that. But I think it was more of just the way he was just hot, and Miami was like, hey, we got to keep giving him the ball, and they were lining Mozart up at receiver too, and because if you look at his, I think it was 84 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then 2 touchdowns receiving, I think, or 3 touchdowns rushing, 1 touchdown receiving for Mozart. And this is what I want to talk about very quick. Because we're going to talk. Look, I know we're talking Tyreek Hill and everything. So running backs. Christian McCaffrey is obviously leading the league, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, 60 attempts. James Cook, James Conner, Tony Pollard. James Cook from Buffalo, James Conner, Tony Pollard. Those are your next group of guys that are in the lead. Right under there is Raheem Mostert. Mostert has 240 yards rushing, 41 attempts. These guys are leading in rushing. Do you want to know how many touchdowns Christian McCaffrey has?
2, 3.
3. 3 touchdowns. Cook has 0. Conner and Pollard both have 2. You want to know how many Mostert has?
7.
Rushing? 6.
6 already?
Close enough. 6. That's crazy. And receiving
for a head coach that doesn't run the football.
I have this. Let's see if he is. I don't know if I have it here or not. I may have to pull it up.
They just while you're looking at that up, the way they burst through the openings, man, the vision that they have. That's the one underrated thing that they have. They're so elusive. They're not just quick. They're not fast. They're elusive. It's like, for a second, it's like watching. I don't know who do I compare Achane to. He looks like a bigger, stronger version of Sproles to me. Like that's what the feeling.
Somebody asked that earlier. Somebody said, I think it was oh my goodness, one of the Dolphin writers. But he asked, who does Achane remind you of? And he had Sproles. He had other guys in there. It just says, and I'm going to be honest. And I said it yesterday on the show, and I said it today on Twitter. He reminds me of Reggie Bush.
Holy shit!
To me, remember where Reggie Bush was when he was with the Dolphins?
I loved Reggie Bush.
New Orleans underused him, didn't use him correctly. When he came to Miami, he became a legit running back like he was in South. He did. Obviously, he was never what he was in USC, but he was a damn good. He was one of my favorite players. It sucked that we only had him for about a year and a half, but that's what he looked like to me. I see a poor man right now, a poor man's Reggie Bush, and it could be a rich man's because in his first NFL real game, second game in, really, 200 plus yards. Look. Let me just show this right here. Mostert, Brian Robinson, Bijan Robinson, the supposed rookie of the year, leading candidate.
Yeah.
Zach Moss, right there. Devon Achane. Bijan Robinson has 213 yards, 0 touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
The presumed rookie of the year.
Yeah, rushing. Yeah.
Devon Achane, 208 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. Hello.
Yeah.
So my thing is this. I know we're 3 weeks in. I know we're 2 weeks in on Achane. But did he just put himself right in the thick of the race for Rookie of the Year?
He could. He could possibly, man. And you know what's insane? We only used him for he only played 5 snaps against the Patriots? He could have played half the game, and he could have made a difference in that game, too.
Savon Ahmed was still there.
Exactly.
And this is my next thing. If Savon Ahmed comes back next week, and I like Savon, don't get me wrong, and he's been playing really good. Not that good, but good. I can't see no way that you keep you leave Achane in his reserved role as special teams and some snaps or whatever. No, you ride the hot
Absolutely.
hand. You know what? Mostert's been amazing.
Comes back, what do you do when Wilson comes back? I still ride with Achane.
No, no. Hey, maybe fresh legs. You don't know. Maybe third down conversion, whatever. Even though Mostert's been leading that role, and we know health and everything else comes into play. Now, look, he could be a trade bait. We talked on that yesterday.
Absolutely.
4th round pick. You get an extra pick, mid-round pick, and you could use that on something else later on.
There's some teams that need a running back. That's true.
Absolutely. Bobby, when we get Jalen Waddle back, do you think we're going to do a more empty set without using the running backs and using more receivers? Maybe have a 5 and 6. We had Jalen Waddle. Let me just say this, Anthony. We had Jalen Waddle against the Patriots before the injury, and Miami did not do that. They were committed to a 50-50 split.
Yeah.
That answers that question for that. I think Miami is committed to a balanced attack on offense. We know what we could do on the air, but we're showing what we could do on the ground. I think you might see a few times like that, of course, because I think McDaniel is just going to have the playbook. He's going to have different things coming out that year, reverses, play action, RPO, all that and above. It's just what it is. But I can't see where it's like, okay, we're not going to use the running backs for the majority of the game. We're just going to go straight up pass. He'll go with any situation that goes down, but I think it is more he's going with a straight up bounce attack until someone stops it. And I'm telling you, the way this offense is being run, who's going to stop it? Who?
Bro, think of that, man. He can literally pick his poison every single week. Based on what the defense gives him, he has the answer. So he does his game plan. Part of his game plan, honestly, obviously I know coaches set up the run, the set up their first plays, their first series, great. But part of his game plan is reacting to the defense. Whatever the defense gives me, I'm gonna go with, and that to me is a perfect problem to have because I can attack you at any point. I'm not scared of anything. I'm not one dimensional. More Priest Holmes or Mark Ingram? Well, I do see the Mark Ingram comparison. He's just obviously he's a little thinner, but much quicker than Mark Ingram. And the
So you
Priest
don't
Holmes,
see that? Is that what you're just saying?
the Priest Holmes.
You disagree? Is that what you're saying?
When I see Priest Holmes, I think of Moser. I compare Moser more to Priest Holmes than
Raheem Mostert. Remember, dude, and kudos
and
to
Johnson.
him. Kudos
Remember?
to him.
Johnson from the Chiefs, the one that replaced Priest Holmes, Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Larry Johnson. Yeah,
I see Mozart in Larry Johnson because
and hooked
Mozart
up Joe's right.
is like
Achane got
6'3".
2 receiving touchdowns, 4 total.
Yeah,
In his first real game as a rookie is stunning. Hey, people are now, and that's my thing. He's the hot hand, and McDaniel loves playing the hot hand.
always.
Do not be surprised. Listen, Buffalo is because Buffalo. Any team last year goes, dude. All we got to do is stop the pass. They can't run it.
That's it.
That was last season, and it was that's what Miami did. It was passing. They couldn't run it. They didn't want to run it for whatever reason. They thought, we'll keep passing.
That's the thing. They could run it. They didn't want to run it.
They didn't want to run it. They decided not to for whatever reason. This year, McDaniel has shown in the offseason he's grown, that he's adjusted, and this year it's like, oh crap! Look, man, if they're going 400 yards through the air and 400 yards on the ground, how are we going to stop this? We got to we got to score on their defense. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to strike us deep, fast and often.
And Allen's going to throw 3 picks.
let me go to receiving very quick. Tyreek Hill, of course. Keenan Allen is leading the league in receiving. He's 32 receptions for 402 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jefferson right behind him of the Vikings with 27 receptions, 458. Dropped down about 2 extra spots. Tyreek Hill is there, 5 spots, 25 receptions, 412 yards, 4 touchdowns. This is what I want to see. I want to go to defense for a second. Tackles. I know Evan and I were discussing this yesterday, and I want to see who's leading the league in tackles right now because Javon Holland has been going nuts.
Yep.
All right. So right now, and Evan, if you're still watching, Javon Holland is in 4th place right now. Zaire Franklin of the Colts has 45 combined tackles, and Holland with 33. So, pull this here. All right, I'm going to ask you a legitimate question here.
Go ahead.
I know you are. I know you're saying you won't, but I want you to take your Homer glasses off. Okay. I want to ask you because I remember talking to you about cause for pause. All right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go over I'm gonna give you. Okay, I'll say it like I'm gonna go every team coming up. And if you feel a little bit of doubt, just a little bit in regards to, or not doubt, but something where it goes a cause to pause, where you go, damn, okay. I want you to say cause. If there's nothing there, and you go, nah, dude, or I'm good with that. No, we got it.
When?
But any team that makes you doubt it or gives you a little bit of a thought, it's cause for pause. Okay.
Okay.
Buffalo next week.
We got it.
The Giants.
Buff.
Panthers.
Got it.
Philly. Cause.
Yeah.
It's
gonna be
when you do this, it's cause. That's it. You could go, but dude, look what Philly did here. Look what that. But if it gives you a little bit of cause to pause,
their front seven, their D line is really strong.
For sure. Yeah. They're a Super Bowl contender. Cause for pause. New England again.
We got it.
Kansas City.
Cause, because I just think it's going to be like an offensive shootout.
Fair enough. Vegas.
We got it. McDaniel's doesn't know what he's doing, bro.
Jets.
We got it, bro.
Commanders.
We got it.
Titans.
You saw him play yesterday, Bob.
Yeah, we'll skip the Jets. We know we're standing Jets. Dallas.
Got it.
Okay. Baltimore.
At Baltimore.
At Baltimore.
we
It's
always have a
cause.
tough time there.
Yeah.
Because they're down, depending on how the receivers are health wise. So I'll leave that in cause. Just it could be one of those like games like last year.
All right, and then of course if we finish in Miami against Buffalo,
We got that.
okay. So you think we sweep Buffalo this year, or you feel it? You feel like, man, no, we can sweep Buffalo.
We're gonna sweep Buffalo this year.
So, but fair enough. I mean,
I just have us
legitimately,
14-3, like maybe 14-3, 15-2.
you gave cause for 3 teams.
4.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You gave cause for 3 teams, which is Philadelphia, Kansas City, and Baltimore, which I think is absolutely fair. Yeah, absolutely fair. Because again, you could say, maybe one of those games Buffalo cause because Buffalo is a strong team, AFC champions, East champions, strong. Look what they did yesterday against Commanders, etc. But when you look at this, when you look at it, New York, Carolina, the Patriots, Vegas, Jets, Commanders, Tennessee.
Carolina plays hard, so those are easy wins. But I still think
there's no reason why Miami loses those games unless Miami beat themselves.
At all.
That's the only way it happens. Well, listen, Anthony. I think that's fair too. You first of all, cause for pause is just for you to go, okay, win. And it's like, oh, that's cause for pause. Yeah. So that's what I mean by that. That's what I'm talking about it. So I agree with you too. Micah Parsons is the real deal. Yeah. Teams have bad games. Miami might have a bad game this year, but it doesn't make them pretenders. I think Miami are contenders
for sure.
So. And I'm not disrespecting. That was Alex's cause for pause. I said mine's earlier, and those are just going, So Bills are coming off a false high. Hooked up Joe. Might be right.
That's true.
Hey, let's do this, Alex. Let's do this. We touched on it, and everybody look on East 10th Street boys, especially growing up. We love cereal. Our culture, our lives, we love cereal. Yeah. I eat cereal at night. That's what I do. My wife is the same. That's what I enjoy it. And we've tried all different types of cereals. It's not that one cereal, but we have the cereal awards. So it's how you say, player of the game, defensive player of the game, blah blah. We have that. So we are going to go ahead and roll with that. I'll start with the first one here.
Go ahead.
And since we don't have any official cereal sponsors, I'm going with the off-brand versions.
Not yet.
You'll get who the off-brands are, but you should get who the actual things are. But these are the off-brands, so we just stay close. The Fruity Loops best offensive player of the game, Alex.
Mike
who are you
McDaniel.
giving it to? Offensive player of the game. Who does he go to?
Dude, I have
it's hard, isn't it?
It's hard, man, because I'm just gonna go out with a coming out because he's a rookie. I'm gonna go with Achane because he just burst into the scene. But realistically, I will give it to the offensive line because they did everything.
Fair. That's fair.
They did everything, man. Everything. There's a picture, Bob, that I don't know if you saw online that I retweeted. That is a masterpiece where it's Achane running through. He's already by like the 50-yard line or something, I think, and he's already obviously has a clear path to the goal. And all you see is Broncos players laying down on the floor. And then someone just wrote like the O-line did that. And it looks like a death scene, man.
Oh, I saw it. Evan's going to go with T-Steady. And Evan, where the hell are you? You said you were coming on tonight. I just thought, I talked about that earlier. That's why we were late. We were waiting on you. You told me. You said yesterday, Bobby, I'm going to be on tomorrow. What happened?
The lack of commitment, man. The driver of the bandwagon.
It's just ridiculous. Anyway,
Jesus.
I'm playing. You don't have to. I know you didn't eat and you're chilling out, brother. I'm just playing. I'm sweating like a dog, dude. I know it's because I'm still fighting this thing, but I don't know why I'm sweating. That's why I got the Miami Hawaii shirt going on here.
You think that the shirt's gonna cool you down?
I know. F this. Just go shirtless. Anyway, guys. Play my chest hair live on.
Man.
Just leave me alone. I think Achane is absolutely fair, but you know what? You kudos to the offensive line. It's so hard to go with one player, and like yesterday, I gave my studs, one of my studs to the entire running game because Raheem Mostert, Achane, Chris Brooks coming in with 66 yards to finish out.
That's crazy, bro. Chris Brooks had 66 yards, and he just played like for half a quarter, man.
I am going to run it. Taron Armstead, I think that's fine. Offensive line in general. I mean, they've looked good the last 2 weeks. They looked amazing yesterday with Armstead back. I think that's absolutely fair. This is hard for me, and since you went with Achane, and I'll go with Evan going offensive line, I'm going to roll with Raheem Mostert. That dude was positive all day, in the air and on the ground. He and what he went through this offseason, with people saying, and me included, we need to get a back, and you know, luxury or not, you know, hey, Dalvin Cook, Jonathan Taylor, etc. He said, you know, I heard that noise. I heard all that. I heard those rumors, media-wise. And he put on some weight, and he says, watch this. Watch what I'm going to do. And this season so far, you know, we talk about Tua. We talk about Achane right now after one game. Tyreek. But maybe, just maybe, the most important player, the most impactful player in this offense is Raheem Mostert. Receiving and running the ball. He is doing it all. I'm giving it to Raheem Mostert for this game. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody here.
And what Hooked Up Joe said, you know, it's true. The Dolphins are doing this now. They get a cake. They give a cake, so they went into the suites. I'm like, someone saw like our cereal awards, and now I'm like, wait a second, what's going on? Like, I've never heard of a team giving a cake to.
Hey,
and
Alex,
it's true.
When I come down in a couple weeks, we could do East 10th Street Boy Live. We could have the cereal right on the front porch.
We're gonna
we'll do it. We'll have Ralph make us the shakes. We'll do the old shakes. Let's do it, dude. Full on.
This is amazing. We're gonna end up like at 1 o'clock in the morning, like, oh, this is great cereal, man.
Let me see. Let me make sure. I don't want to miss anybody here. Who you ever get, they will give it to the O-line. Hey, those running backs, they should. The O-line was amazing. And again, Alice brought it up at the top of the show. Chris Greer told us, and everyone was like, you guys are more worried about the O-line than we are. And we're like, are you effing crazy, dude? Are you crazy? Look at this O-line. Look at the holes. And look at what they've done. And you know what? That's putting trust in your coaches. I think it's not that he saw anything different. He knows what he has there. And I'm sure he did say, hey, man, okay, we're going to have to go into the season with this type of depth, with this situation. We'll just roll with it. But it's the trust he had in this coaching staff, because I give Butch Ferry, what a difference. What a difference in this offensive line.
And what's crazy, Eichenberg played center yesterday.
Yes, he did.
Yes. No problem snapping the ball. That's good.
He did have an injury. He did have a penalty. That's when I noticed he was in there. I didn't even notice he was in there until he got the penalty. I said, why the hell is he in this game? I said, what the hell? I didn't know this guy got hurt. The Captain Crush, best defensive player of the game. Alex, who are you rolling with?
I'll go with Agba.
That's mine too.
That's yours? He stepped up. I know last year he took a lot of heat. And I know this year hopefully with the emergence of Phillips and Chubb having a full year under, obviously back with Fangio, some people thought he was going to be kind of like an afterthought. And I just think that fortifies, that gives you an opportunity. When you got Chubbs and Phillips on the opposite side, it gives Agba a chance to obviously exceed expectations, especially coming off of a down year last year, really after a contract. So I'll go with Agba.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's Agba. And I said it yesterday. He was my stud on defense. I mean, overall, you got Andrew Nginkwo, Javon Holland. Yeah. No. And that's absolutely okay.
Yeah, that's true.
But Van Ginkel has been all over the place. But what you just said, everything that Emmanuel Agba has gone through, and same thing, trade bait. People have been including him in trades. We were saying, man, where is he? Where is he? For him, last week he had a good game. This week he had a superior game. A sack, a batted ball turned into an interception. I got to give it to him. But overall, that defense played really damn well. Okay. This is where it can switch up. We have offensive player, defensive player, lucky charm, player of the game.
Player of the game, I'm going to go with Mostert in this chance. I mean, and for reasons that are obvious.
Yeah, that are. And you know what? I'm going to roll with – I'm going to switch. I'm going to take your guy. I'm going to go with Achane. Devon Achane was a player of the game. For him to come in from the beginning to the end, from the first snap to the final snap, he was involved in and he made big plays. And again, it's like, oh, they're running up the score. He was running the ball. Tackle him.
The only thing, you know what's crazy to me? That, I mean, I know I was texting you. I would have gone for the record, but I understand. I know what good karma is. And as a coach, you don't want to run the score for no reason. Which, granted, you still had an excuse because it was fourth down. You might not have to. You might not have to. You might not have to obviously just nail it and turn the ball over, or run it and lose it on fourth down. Whatever, turn it over on fourth down. But the only play that I would say there might have been some sort of like running up the score was the White pass to Chosen, but it was still third down and long.
It
So
was
you
your
go for it.
second string quarterback and your
Exactly.
practice squad wide receiver against
Exactly.
your supposedly, and all love to
Top
him, his
corner.
dad is a favorite, against
Yeah.
Pat Surtain Jr., who's one of
Yeah.
the top corners in football. That's what happened. So you're right. Yeah, you could say, oh, they're trying to run it up there,
Yeah.
but
It's like, nah,
again, your
stop us.
star corner
Stop
against
us.
our practice squad receiver and second string quarterback, and you couldn't stop it, then you deserve to get scored on.
I always love that.
This wasn't Tom Brady and Randy Moss
No, man.
running up the
No.
score.
No.
This was Mike White and Robbie Chosen.
I
Stop
always
it.
love that when Jimmy Johnson came out with, I think it was Lou Holtz and Notre Dame, when they would accuse UM of running up the score, and they're like, oh, if they don't want us to score, just stop us.
That's
Plain and
it.
simple. Just stop us, man. It's like you can't do anything.
So now the Confle play of the game.
Oh
Alex.
my God, Bob.
I know.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it. To me, it wasn't the play. It was after the play. It was Tyreek Hill. The first touchdown. Tyreek Hill gets into the crowd and starts cheering. Like, you
I thought you
kind
were
of
going with
felt
the
that
Tonga
game.
dance.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought
that
you
one
were
too. That one was awesome, bro. That one was awesome. I'm telling you, their celebrations are on point.
Hey, it's again, this is a different team, man. This is a different vibe in Miami. I could go with the Conga. I think that's fair.
Yes.
That's the play of the game. But
both shovel passes.
I'm gonna. Ooh, I like that one.
was
Ray.
nice,
I
bro.
like
A
that
no
one.
look shovel pass. It was amazing.
I like that. It's true. That was. I
And
love
the
that
whole
one.
crowd, the whole stadium was like.
I'm gonna say the one that got 70. That's gonna be mine. I'm gonna go Devon Achane's
Okay.
70, the one that secured 70 points, because that was like, for me, was unexpected. I was kind of like, they're gonna run it out. All of a sudden, when I saw
we were texting.
Whoa!
We were texting back and forth, and I text you. He gone.
He's gone. I went, oh shoot! I was like, oh, I love it. Oh man, but
It's
so
crazy. Righty Tua threw how many passes? Righty Tua threw 2 touchdown passes yesterday, and lefty Tua threw the other 2. So even Tua's going half and half. He's throwing 2 touchdown passes with left and 2 touchdown passes with right. Right-handed, no look shuffle.
Because of Lucky Charm name, HN is my choice. We are lucky and charmed to have him pop up as a gem.
That's
100%. Again, we're looking at these and again, I'm not hating on it. It's only 3 weeks in, guys. And that preference goes to people who watch and go, look, they're being homers. Look, we're only 3 weeks in. But Zach Charbonnet, those guys I like. HN. When we took HN, I was like, but dude, that guy was still on the board. Cam Smith, the same thing, who's been injured. Okay, we'll wait and see how that turns out. What was it? The Darnell Washington was. There was a lot of going. But look what HN has done, and it's one game. It is just one game. We saw what happened with Ajayi, but
you see it in this offense. You see it in this offense, man.
He could remain healthy in this offense, and I think he can, just because of Mozart and the running back room. Like we say, what's going to happen with Wilson? What's going to happen with Savon? You're kind of lucky that you got those issues. That's a good problem to have.
Yeah,
what are we going to do with those guys?
Absolutely.
You could trade them, or you could say, hey, God forbid that Mozart goes down. You got Wilson right there coming in, maybe, or Savon. You got Achane. You're golden.
Well, they're going to play the fourth quarter. Honestly, Bob, Wilson and Ahmed could play the fourth quarter every single game if we continue this route.
Well, to me, it's like, look, right now the formula is perfect. Run and like what you did with Mozart in game 3, where he was not only in the backfield, but he was at receiver. He was catching the ball, running, touchdown, here. That is the best one. And then you have Achane, right? They were together. You got to keep it that way. Achane, listen, oh my God. Think about this, Alex. Achane and Mozart behind Tua. Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. First Smythe, Alec Ingold.
Pick your poison, bro. Pick your poison.
Good luck. Good luck. In regards of coach of the year, if it continues this way, the way this offense is playing, the switch from last year 9-8 to wherever happens at the end of this year, if it continues to go the way we think it could go, there's no question he should be coach of the year. And I was telling Evan yesterday, I mean, again, looking at these coaches, you think of Wes Welker as the receiver, Eric Studsville, the running back coach, Butch Berry. You know, people keep talking about the Shanahan tree, which fair enough. It's okay. Go with that Shanahan tree, but soon they're going to be talking about that McDaniel tree.
Mm-hmm.
The names are going to get poached after this season if it continues this way.
Those are my thing. Well, you see, the only person I do see leaving, Bob, for a job is Frank Smith. Frank Smith is another underrated coach here. He's the offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Exactly. People kind of don't value him because obviously he's under McDaniel. McDaniel's one calling the plays.
Studsville maybe Studsville moves up to offensive coordinator at that point, or Studsville goes and he's an offensive coordinator somewhere else.
Yeah.
Especially if his running backs are breaking
the only
records.
left over from the other regime, right?
So and then you go, you see that's true, and look at the difference. And hey, and that's why somebody we know, and I said you got to give Studsville, but Mike McDaniel, remember he was a run game coordinator in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and even though he didn't do it last year, maybe him and Studsville together are saying, let's get the best of these guys.
Studsville was co-offensive coordinator under Flores, right?
Yes.
With what was the other guy's name?
Who knows? He's not here anymore.
Oh my God, what was?
Oh, Darryl Bevel. That's true. He
that's
might move to OC.
Yes, he's a QB coach, which is amazing. Another steal. We have a hell of a staff, man. Dude, we have a hell of a staff.
And John Embry, the tight ends coach. Look what happened with Julian Hill in the preseason. We'll see what happens during the regular season. But Derek Smythe so far is playing really good so far. Numbers aren't fantastic when you look at the numbers, but when you watch him during the game, you see a difference. You know,
he fits the scheme, Bob. Look at the difference here, the importance in obviously. And remember, we talked about this. People were talking about the offensive line, and we mentioned the importance of blocking for the fullback position, the tight end position. Mike McDaniel has the personnel that he finally wants. He has the personnel that he wants, and he's just going to magnify it.
Absolutely. And Chef, you're absolutely right. Who's going to stop us?
Man.
Who?
For all those fans I used to watch, I'm telling you this, I said this last week, but for years, Bob, we had to grind out victories 17-16, 21-19. It was boring football. Don't get me wrong, football is football, but it's so refreshing to have a high-octane offense. This is what the 80s must have felt for Dolphins fans. Like, remember, we always talk about what did it feel when Marino was in his heyday? This has to feel what it felt like in the 80s with Marino, and even Marino didn't have a run game. And so you just had a high-powered offense, and you're like, oh, this is what it feels like. Like, you went into every week, I'm pretty sure in the 80s, and we could talk to Ralph about this. In the 80s, when you had Marino, you went into every single game thinking that you can win a shootout because you had Dan Marino. And now it's so cool to finally feel that because we've never felt that before. We've never had a high octane
and right
offense.
now you're saying, well, it's not just a high octane offense.
Yeah.
This is an overall team.
And
that's my team. Look, we just had a 24-17 win over the Patriots.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I know we're getting crazy with the 74, but you see what I'm saying? But it's Miami had a shootout. Think about this. They had a shootout in week 1 against the Chargers. All right. Which was a fun game. It was a shootout. Miami showed, hey, we could go toe-to-toe with a high passer. I got a high passer too. In week 2, you could say they played down to the Patriots. It was a defensive game, but Miami still running the ball, had a great running game and defensive game, and they won a tight game. Week 3, they blew out a team. So you've had all 3 types of wins.
Exactly.
That's what I like about the team. Not that it's just high octane offense, Alex, but a balanced offense. It's not just passing the ball. It's not just running. Remember, when we had Ricky Williams, it was just running. You know, I like Jay Fiedler, Chris Chambers. Those guys, Chris Chambers, one of my favorite receivers. Jay Fiedler, I have all the respect in the world.
Yeah.
You know, and Rondé Gadsden. But really, when it was Ricky, we knew it was Ricky. It was a running game.
Run.
Ricky, run. When it was Chad Pennington and Ricky and Ronnie, it was the Wildcat. It was running. When it was Tannehill, you had some passing, but it was Jay Ajayi at that point. You know, with this team, when Marino was passing, you had one phase of the offense. Right now, Miami's playing on both phases. It's a balanced attack, and that's why it's a different team because we do it every year. 35 years old, I don't know how many years I've been a Dolphin, but most of my life, the majority of my life, if it's 32, I guess, I don't know, whatever it is. Every year you go, this is the year, dude, and you make up every reason why it's the year. But in reality, you're like, really?
This isn't the year.
But what Miami shows so far in the field, this is a different football team. In the words of the late Bray Wyatt, we're here, and the NFL run. I love it, Chef. That is awesome. I love it. Let me in. That's us to the Super Bowl. Let me in.
Right here. Absolutely. We are number one. Tua is the number one wide receiver. Tua is the number one quarterback. Hill is one wide receiver. Mostert one number running back. That's true, man. It's true.
Hey, and Madden, I've been running all over people with Raheem Mostert. Tyreek to Jalen Tua to Tyreek is like the last option, but I usually run the ball because they're expecting me to pass, and I run all over them. The guys don't think I can't. I don't have my microphone on because I don't prefer to talk. But I can hear them on my TV, and I'm like, "What the hell, man? You run the ball? I got you, boy." I was like, ah! And then when they choke up the defense, they start coming up. Yeah. That's when I play action. Done. Now everyone who's watching, you try to challenge me in Madden. I know now you know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to have to switch it up.
Good job. Good job. Now he's going to bring with a chain.
That's right. Here comes Achane.
Moving the chains. But you see, wait a second. Why do you change? You see, this is one thing I'm going to criticize him for. Like, he has so many possibilities to play on words with his name. Now he just changed it for us. He just killed our vibe.
But did he change it, or did he just correct everybody?
Supposedly he corrected it before. Like, this is something that I heard today, that he had corrected it like during preseason. Like, people asked him. Obviously, typically when a new player is acquired, you go through the pronunciation for the reporters and the announcer. So supposedly he had corrected it. But Achane sounds so cool because you can play on with your, like, the Achane train, the Achane moving the chains. Like, there's so many things that you could throw out there. Now it's Achane. Or Achane? Achane? How do you say it?
Achane. It's the same thing. Like Achane is close enough, but Achane.
Yeah.
Instead of saying Achane, it's Achane. You know, that's what I heard. Yeah, somebody played it. I think it was who played that week? You go find it. Dudley Durong. Durong. He's the one who, because supposedly on MiamiDolphins.com, you click on the player's name or next to the player's name, and they sound out their name.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I saw that, and he says Devon Achane, and I'm like, Achane. I had to play it like 3 times, like Achane. I'm like, oh, okay, my bad, Achane. All right.
It's funny. It's true. The Surtain got us because we have been saying Patrick Surtain for years, and all of a sudden, one random preseason, he's like, "It's certain." What? What do you mean it's certain? He's like, "Yeah, you pronounce my last name certain." It's like, okay.
Patrick Surtain. I prefer Patrick Surtain, though, sir. Thank you, though.
Which goes back to our conversation about English. Makes no sense. A-I-N. Like, come on.
Ray. Hey, and again, Chef, you're right. Look, I mean, at least, right now, that's what I thought of yesterday, the way they were playing. But
holy shit, that's true.
But what I will say, though, again, Mostert plus Achane equals, as running backs, Hill and Waddle as receivers. The talent those guys have at wide receiver is equal to the talent we have in the backfield right now.
Bob, think about that. Has the team ever had so much speed all at once?
No.
With the amount of people. Like,
I don't think any team has had this type of speed.
Ever.
Never. Now that you say that, I don't know why I just thought of my fantasy team. I do have Mostert, by the way, on my team. I'm hoping to get Achane.
Well, you want me to be honest with you? I just picked up Achane off the waiver wire. Someone dropped him in my league. I picked him up.
In your league? Yeah. Oh, okay.
The problem is my running backs in the meaningful league, with the one I play, like that we actually put money up. That we've been doing this league for 13 years. My running backs right now are Williams from the Rams. I got Gibbs from Detroit. And I got, who's my other running back? Etienne from the Jaguars. So those are my starters. Obviously, Gibbs, yesterday, I started Gibbs because he was going to get the majority of the carries. And he performed well. He just didn't score. And I had Achane that I had just picked up like on Wednesday. I'm like, oh, Achane's available. I'm like, I can't. Boom! I picked him up and have him on my bench. And I got White from the Bucks on my bench too. So I got decent running backs. And I'm looking as the game goes on, and I'm like, and it just hit me. I'm like, holy shit! I have Achane on my bench, and my game is close. I still got Godwin performing. I got Williams, but if I lose this week, and I have Achane on my bench, I'm like,
Let me just say this.
That's true. That's true. You just
so
posted
I'm
up.
trying to pick him up on our network fantasy league.
Oh, on our network fantasy?
I'm about to go 3-0 on the season. Raheem Mozart had what did he finish with? 41.7. He finished.
In my league, Achane got 62.3 points.
Gonyo, bro.
And I started Gibbs, and he only gave me 9 points because obviously he didn't score. So
doesn't that tick you off? Like you go, I'm gonna start this guy, and like you're trying to, and then you do it, and then it just
blows up in my face, man. But what can you do?
What can you do?
Was it the most fantasy points ever as a running back duo? I believe so.
I don't know.
I believe so.
You hooked up, Joe. Check in on. Well, I think maybe they're tomorrow. Maybe it's tomorrow. I know Wednesday night for sure, 8:00. But I think on Tuesday at noon we have the fantasy football show. But for sure on Wednesday 8:00 Eastern we have Once Upon a Sunday fantasy football. Check in with those guys. They'll let you know. I'm sure they're going to touch on it. Oh, and as a duo, it has to be.
For sure.
It has to be.
Sure.
I thought you were talking about
one game.
No, it has to be. Has to be. But I would double check. Guys, if you don't, first off, we're about to wrap it up. But I just want to say, for everyone tuning in, first off, Chef Chu, welcome back. Ray Finkel, Hooked on Joe, Dolphins Thirsty, Manny, Beard Fanatic, Evan, everyone tuning in. Thank you so much. Everyone else, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. We appreciate you. We're so excited. We broke. Ralph, you guys sound like real homers. Everyone who tuning in and subscribed and just, contributing in that way. I just appreciate you guys. I enjoy doing this. I love doing this, especially with the guys we have on this team. I'm doing this with my brother Alex.
It's a great team, bro.
And doing this with the core guys, and I call them the family, dude. We're a fan. We're friends. We are real life friends. We talk out of this. We're looking forward to seeing each other in a few weeks, and we got great content on this channel. We don't just have football. I mean, you just brought up Bray Wyatt. We have a wrestling podcast on the channel. Chef, we got Friday nights. We got the No Holds Barred crew. We got basketball talk tomorrow on Fast Break. We got
after our football podcast, football.
More Dolphins talk tomorrow on the channel. We got Real Talk Fins Talk. Then we have soccer, football. With that's football offsides, followed by Fast Break. And then we got Wednesday nights again, Once Upon a Sunday. Thursday morning, we have TD in Paradise, which records on Wednesday nights. They're not live, but that's college football. I'm sure they're going to talk a lot about the Deion Sanders and Colorado loss to Oregon. And then, of course, just a lot of great Dolphins coverage, NFL coverage. So, guys, thank you so much. Alex, any final words before we close this out?
No, man. Honestly, it's just it's a great feeling to feel what you feel when you see that game. And it's still surreal. Like, you saw 70 on the scoreboard, and when you see it in the little ticker in the bottom, you're like, that doesn't feel real, man. Like, how did this happen? We just scored 10 touchdowns in a football game, in a professional football game. And then you start looking around, and you're like, yeah, it's due. It's due, man. We were due. And I'm just happy for the city of Miami. I'm happy for Dolphins fans, generations of Dolphins fans that have been in anguish for years, and I just hope that it continues. Obviously, we pray for health.
Well, I think of Kobe Bryant. What you see with my thing is, I think of the late great Kobe Bryant. What do I always tell you, Alex, when we talk about it? It's like, is it finished?
Yeah.
Job finished? Job's not finished.
Not finished.
And it's like, you're up 2-0. Remember that? That's what I was going to put.
Absolutely.
And it's like,
against the Magic.
Yeah, Chef, man, that's awesome, man. And let me just say this, guys. I'm going down there for the Carolina game. I'll be there until Tuesday night, maybe Sunday night and Monday night. Might do live. We're gonna do live shows.
Yeah.
Maybe live on location, or what. And if you guys are down there and you're watching this and you want to be a part of it and join us and come on and we'll all hang out. We'll do this live show. You're more than welcome. I love to get a group of people out and just meet up, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So, but until then, Dolphin fans, Miami fans. My goodness, if you're a Miami sports fan, what a time. The Heat go to the finals. They might get Dame Lillard. Who knows? Who cares at this point? But they're going to have a good roster, a good team. The Panthers go to the finals. Marlins are coming up. The Dolphins look amazing. I mean, Leo Messi mania in Miami.
The
What
Canes,
a time.
the Hurricanes are dominating.
Basketball, football. I mean,
Yeah. Oh,
what a time.
Hurricanes basketball just landed their first ever 5-star recruit.
Whoa, I
This
didn't know
offseason.
that.
Yeah. Yep. First ever 5-star
Look
recruit.
at that. Look at that. I mean, what a time to be a Miami fan. And I know I'm missing. I know there's teams I'm missing because FAU basketball as well. Kudos to them.
FAU football. That's true. Oh no, I'm sorry. Basketball. That's true.
Basketball. They made the Final Four. I mean, just
Final Four.
Miami sports is on the rise. You call Boston a sports town? Boston. It's Miami, baby. It's Miami, baby. And that's maybe how I'll close it out. Boston.
Fuck Boston.
Alex is gonna say it. I'm trying to hold it, but it's all good.
I'm gonna get us canceled. We just got 10,000. It's like getting it back to zero. Sorry.
Dolphin fans, please, thank you again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, but always and most importantly, fins up.
up.
See you guys next time.